Hey guys, what's up? This is Henry Strikes Back, HSB, Hensba here. Um, just wanted to make this is gonna be like a really kind of like a quick video. Depends really on how long I go on with this, but just wanted to make some updates and clarifications about some of the episodes of the Lost Media Mysteries. You know, if anybody remembers that damn series I did on my original channel. But I just wanted to make some updates since then about some of the episodes that I did a while back, like the pretty much like the second episode of the show, like that one about the Doraemon, that English dub that was going to be done by WTBS Superstation and Ted Turner and all that. It turns out that I believe that at some point it was considered that they were going to do like an official licensed English dub of the Doraemon 1979 anime. Like it was considered, since according to the documentation that's online, that is, if it's even accurate or correct, because you can't really trust everything that's on the internet. You can't really trust the sources either that you cite sometimes, because sometimes people will just make up anything and lie about it. And if there is some information like that about it, just like the news, people exaggerate that information or, again, make that up. So again, it turns out, I guess, that Ted Turner of, Turner Broadcasting apparently had gained a license to air the 1979 Doraemon anime, and they were considering and producing an official licensed English dub of the anime, and Ted Turner did gain a license from TV Asahi to produce an English dub of the show, but again, it never went anywhere, and then the dub was eventually, dropped and canceled, and eventually Ted lost the license from TV Asahi to produce an English dub of the anime, and that never went anywhere. But after that attempt at an English dub and bringing Doraemon to a U.S. an English speaking audience, that didn't go anywhere. So then eventually that went to some other studio went and picked it up, which I assume is the rumored, that was rumored to have supposedly produced a dub of it and shit, which was some company called Fuse, I believe, which was it was a dubbing studio that was located at Universal City in California, where I went in 2019. Which I myself went there, so I might have passed by what used to be that company, but I don't think they exist anymore. So I assume that dub that was produced in the UK was done by that studio. So then in MTV UK or something, I think they commissioned and got a license from TV Asahi to produce an official English dub of Doraemon 79. But that was for like a UK audience, which the entire, the only episode that they even dubbed, because this was more of like a test, like some sort of like kind of like a pitch pilot to like pitch to like a network or whatever for any potential to see if any company or whatever would be interested in picking it up and distributing it, but that didn't go anywhere, and then that got dropped, and then all ideas for a dub of Doraemon in English was scrapped as well and was just abandoned. And supposedly there was supposedly another attempted English dub that was probably done around the 2000s, but I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering, or maybe it was considered, which was by that company again, the Fuse, whatever the hell they're called, but that didn't go anywhere either. And I would say that dub itself was canceled up until the early mid 2010s, when Bang Zoom Entertainment eventually gained a license from TV Asahi to produce an official licensed English dub of the Doraemon 2005 anime, which did get produced, did get made, and did get distributed on Disney's cable channel, Disney XD, and it aired for like about a year on the channel until the dub itself was canceled around 2015. And since then, they never dubbed another episode of the 2005 anime ever again after that. So basically, what you see of the English dub are just basically recordings, I guess, I assume, from the premiere of those episodes when they aired. And some of them are just reruns of the episodes, because from what I read is that the this English dub of Doraemon lasted and aired all the way up until 2017, at least here in the U.S. Until the license from TV Asahi to air that eventually just expired, and Disney never renewed their license with Doraemon, and it seems like that dub just eventually fell into obscurity. Because I don't really ever hear much people talk about it, especially Doraemon in general. Like, feels kind of like a dead horse now. I don't really ever hear people bring up or talk about Doraemon anymore. Like, not even my own friends that I met in that Doraemon 73 server, which was established by a person I don't really like. Let's just say. Yeah, I don't like that acrylic person. I don't know. That's just me, though. I don't really like that guy. But you're not here to listen to my opinions or what I think. But anyways, continuing on. So, now let's move on to episode 4 of the Lost Media Mysteries, which would be the episode, the episode about the Lost El Chavo, El Chavo del Ocho, the lost episodes and sketches of the show, like ranging from 1972 to 1978, I would say. I don't know so much about the 79 ones, because the 1979 episodes don't seem to have very good documentation either, because then again, those episodes are very unpopular. And I can see why, because I've seen them myself, and they used to air them all the time on TV back in the day, before the agreement and license between Grupo Chespirito and Televisa was eventually renewed last year. But this was back around 2019-20, and those episodes are so fucking boring. But anyway, as I was saying, I guess a quick update I could make about that is that some episodes of the show did resurface, though not very much. But we did get some more footage and material that resurfaced from said episodes, I would say. And I guess some of the sketches as well, especially from the later years of the 1971 Chespirito show. So, let me just give you information, basically. So, a new clip from the 1977 remake of the 1974 episode Jugando Baseball, or whatever the hell it's called. A new clip of the episode resurfaced, I think it was like in 2023 or 2024. Like a clip of it resurfaced, and apparently the video was recorded from a Betamax tape that was recorded sometime in the early 1980s, I believe, because it came from a user's personal home video recording of the episode as it was airing, but I forget what country it was airing in. Sorry. I don't remember what country it was aired in. I think it might have been in, like, Ecuador or something. I don't know, I don't remember. I need to properly look into that after I finish this video. But yeah, a clip from that episode resurfaced recently, although it's only like the first few minutes of the episode, because the rest is still missing. So we have yet to see the entirety of that episode. So all we have so far of that episode is just that new clip that resurfaced, and those other two clips that have already been online for a while. Like one that came from a 1994 interview with Edgar Vivar, pardon me, and of course that clip that came from a little advertisement that was promoting like like some sort of record, like some vinyl record that just has the official soundtrack, like songs that were made for the show. That's all we really have. So regarding that episode, so next, So next up is an episode that was produced about a year after that one, which aired in 1978, and it's basically like an episode from 1978 also resurfaced. But hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. Okay, so I got it pulled up right here from the El Chavo wiki, and the episode is called "Las Trampas de la Chilindrina," which was aired on July 17th of 1978. And the episode that was recorded here resurfaced from a 1993 VHS recording of the episode, coming from a Peruvian TV network that aired the episode. Although it's almost complete except the ending of the only thing that's missing is the ending of the episode, because at some point through the end of the episode you might notice that part of the ending is cut off, and that's because it's not complete. And I have no idea why the episode just abruptly cuts off and ends right there, because it cuts out before we get to the end credits. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for that episode, really. So that resurfaced a 1978 episode of the show, and then of course the 1978 version of the Nuevas Vecinas episode, which is a remake of an episode from 1975 and a sketch from 1972, which appears to only be available in Portuguese and regularly airs in Brazil, though I don't know if it's still airing as of lately, since the show just recently came back to the airwaves, and it's barely starting to air again in Brazil, so I'm not sure if they're still airing that episode. So, like, who really knows? Because here in the US, like, now all the Univision networks are just airing those crappy prints that, you know, replace and get rid of the original music, and they just replace it with regular, generic sounding, you know, music, which, like I jokingly said, sounds like royalty-free music. Although it's unlikely, really. It might just be licensed music or something that Televisa has the permission and authorization to use, or like I said again, it's probably just really generic stock music that they just decided to use to replace the copyrighted music. Because prior to 2024, all the Univision networks regularly aired the already remastered episodes, which are masters from the late 2000s, that have the music unaltered and unedited. But the new remastered prints that Televisa has been broadcasting ever since that lawsuit with the original composer Jean-Jacques Pelly, or however you say his name, they had to change and alter the music, so I assume those edits were made sometime in the early mid-2010s, forcing them to have to replace the original theme song that they were using without permission with the Chavo Animado theme song. And this also meant that they had to, you know, alter and replace the copyrighted music that was used in the show, which mostly ranged from MGM, United Artists, and Disney. And some other crap, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know if they still air that one or not, but supposedly I remember reading somewhere, too, that this episode, I also believe, aired on Unimas and Galavisión before 2024, though I'm not certain, really. I mean, this seems to be kind of unconfirmed, although there might be proof that it did air here in the US. At least the first part in its original language, though. So I'm not certain, really, because it doesn't seem to be very well documented, though I might have pictures of that episode as it aired, since I remember when I was in California when those episodes were airing on TV, at least over here where I live. They might have aired the first part, I'm not certain, really, or I might just be confusing it with the second part, which does regularly air and are in circulation and still being distributed by Televisa. So I'm not sure, because only parts 2 to 4 still air regularly, but part 1 for whatever reason doesn't seem to air, and I don't know why. It's really bizarre. I don't know what's up with Televisa not airing that episode. And of course, not an episode, not the whole episode really, but only a clip of it from an episode titled La Resortera, or otherwise also called El Puertazo al Chavo, or something like that, which aired around June 19th of 1978, but only a clip of it surfaced from some sort of show. I don't remember. But that's about it for that. So, next up we have, in which this one I didn't even know existed until people were sharing it, reposting, and posting about it on Blue Sky. But apparently, a 1974 version of the episode, Don Ramon Fotógrafo, recently resurfaced online, which I had no idea even existed, because I've always been familiar with the 1977 version, which turns out is a remake of that episode, except in that episode it has a different character in it instead of La Chilindrina. And it was a pretty short-lived character that appeared for only the 1974 episodes of the show. And the character's name is Malicha. And it turns out that she had another appearance in the show, and it wasn't just 3 episodes. So wait, let me look it up again. So yeah, apparently before this episode even resurfaced, she was only documented to have appeared in only 3 episodes, until this was later disproven when that episode resurfaced via a VHS recording that came from a Colombian broadcast, from a VHS recording dated around 1982, I believe. So it turns out that she had actually appeared in 4 episodes and not 3, like what was previously documented. Meaning that here, so she was in the 1974 version of that episode. Unless anything else comes up eventually, making parts of this video outdated at some point. So far, she has actually had 4 documented appearances in El Chavo. Unless another episode resurfaces that she would have also appeared in, this is all we have so far, so making it 4 appearances within the show, not 3. So, yeah, so that episode resurfaced as well, so I guess that's kind of really about it with El Chavo, besides that a few more clips appeared online lately since that video. Like a clip from a 1973 version, I believe, of... It's actually a sketch within the 1971 Chespirito show from the later years of the show, which is around January of 1973, which would have been from like the final days of Telesistema Mexicano and Televisión Independiente de Mexico until they merged to become Televisa, though I'm pretty sure by this point it was already Televisa. So yeah, a clip of that resurfaced, though for some strange reason it's in black and white. And that's like from one of the... which would have been, I assume the clip that it came from was probably the final sketch of El Chavo within the 1971 Chespirito show. And yeah, that's about that, which came from a 1993 interview, I believe, with María Antonieta de las Nieves. So that resurfaced. I think like a couple more clips also popped up as well, though I'm not really certain. But I think that's like really about it. Besides that, it's not really full episodes or anything. It's mostly just clips. That's all that's really resurfaced from that. Either way, I think that's really about it, though. I don't really know. I might be missing some things. I'm trying to remember, because it's been such a long time since I've done anything to do with this show. Because I mean, before 2024, I hadn't really done much with the show since the pandemic, and I really got to look back into that. So, I think one other update I guess I could make one final update though, but this is it though. It's not very much or anything really that interesting, but I still am gonna bring it up anyway. Is an update regarding on that Lost Media Mysteries episode I did on the Lost episode of Mujer Casos de la Vida Real, which aired in October of 1996 as a Halloween special, I believe, of the episode of the show. And this episode was produced way before the host of the show, Celia Pina, passed away. But this was produced and uploaded when she was still alive. So, I mean, regarding that though, because she had passed away a while back though, an update regarding about that since that episode, from what I remember from its original upload, is that apparently a collector, I believe, had contacted me or something, or I remember at least left a comment on the video claiming that he had a VHS tape, like a VHS recording of the episode from when it originally aired, I guess, or probably a rerun of it, I assume. Claims that he had a VHS recording of the episode, but that he wouldn't release it under certain circumstances or under one condition, which I myself kind of found really ridiculous and stupid, and I still think it is, because I kind of find it very selfish that this person doesn't want to release something unless some dumb, ridiculous pay demands are met. And I'm sorry, dude, but if you're asking for money, I'm not gonna give you money. I'm not going to pay you just to watch a obscure or lost episode of a pretty infamous television show. Like, it's just stupid. Sometimes it's just kind of best to try to ask other people to see if they have a recording of the episode instead of just arguing with a petty collector that's like a petty, selfish collector that's just going to keep everything to themselves unless their demands are met. I'm not so sure, I mean, if the person is even telling the truth or if this guy is just screwing around, but I remember, like, that this person left a comment saying that they had a VHS recording of it, and then I remember I replied to their comment, and we kind of got into a conversation about the episode in the comment section. But again, nothing has resurfaced or come out of this episode, and to this day, the episode's still pretty much lost. And I don't know if that guy's even telling the truth or not. For all we know, he could probably be lying for attention. Anyways, I guess I'm just gonna end it right there, so that's about it for this, update video. See you later.